Last week while I was at the producer link up, Summer Walker's album came out. One of my favourite tracks on it uses Loophole. That inspired me to cook up a Summer Walker style track while I was at the house. I didn't give any commentary while I was filming it, but I'll probably give some insight now into what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So yeah, let's get into the video. Here I'm cooking up using a loop that was sent. I'll put the guys' links in the description. You can see me scrolling through percussion loops here. It's from the latest kit that we put on the site by Ty Leon. Quite often I like to take a percussion loop, drag it in, manipulate it, so here I'm chopping and reversing it. In this case it gives it kind of reverse feel. And I just want to remove the lows basically so it doesn't clash with the bass that I'm going to add later on. Here I'm pitching it down just to give it a different feel. In terms of kits that I use for R&B, the main two that I'll use right now are Lona's Layers kit and then Nami's kit as well. I'll link both of them in the description as well. They're both really nice and they've got atmospheric sounds but also kind of clean sounds as well. Alternating between two different snares is quite good for adding some variation. When I'm making these kind of R&B beats, I feel it's good for the kick to have some busy periods and then a lot of space. One good example of that is Exchange by Bryson Tiller. I don't know if it's still up, but I remember there was a Genius Deconstructed with Foreign Tech where he broke down a similar kind of technique with the kicks. With hi-hats for these kind of beats, I feel like it's good to have more than just one hi-hat sound. It definitely adds a bit more bounce while you're listening to the track. In this case, I'm trying to kind of replicate the same kind of feeling that I'm getting with the kicks through the hi-hats, so a similar bounce. So you can see I'm trying to basically end this hi-hat roll when the kick hits to add a bit of bounce to this area. So you can feel it's kind of like tension and release.
To add to a similar point on tension and release, I feel like it's good to have these reversed kind of riser-ish parts at the end of every 4 or 8 bars, just to add a bit of excitement, bit of movement, just to feel like you're transitioning into the next part of the song. I remember Kenny Beats talking about this. I feel like it was a Ski Mask Deconstructed that he did, but yeah, he was just talking about each transition period needing a signal, basically. So you can see I'm doing a similar thing here with this reverse bell. Usually when I'm adding delay, I'll just use a plugin to add the delay, but sometimes it's good to add it manually. Now for a sub bass, I've gone into Loophole 3 here. I like the Party Next Week 2 bass. It works for this kind of context. It's got a really nice spacey element. Here I'm just trying to find the range that the bass works best in. To add some movement, quite often I'll use shaper box. In this case, I'm adding to the width, so same with what I was saying before with transition periods. At the end of every 4 or 8 bars, I'm just making it swell in terms of width, and then it transitions into the start of the next 4 or 8 bars. Also adding a side chain just to give it a bit of movement, and then panning it from left to right, very, very subtly, again, adding to the whole movement idea. Right now my favorite 808 to use is this Lost Kids 808 from Loner's Kit. It sounds really clean, it's got a nice sub to it, it's ideal for R&B beats. I quite often feel like adding a bass and an 808 in these kind of beats is good, just to add some more variation and make it hit harder at different places. When I'm structuring out tracks, what I'll generally do is clone my main pattern and then split my clone pattern into different channels. That way I can structure it out, remove certain parts when I want to, and bring them back in without it being too confusing for myself. That's just my personal workflow. So here I'm just leaving the first 8 bars without anything, and then I'm bringing in the bass, if I can find it, and then also adding the percussion loop just to give it a bit more kind of feeling going into the first hook, and then I'll drop it in with the bass and the kick, and then take the bass out and put the 808 in. That's kind of how I'll do R&B beats generally. Obviously it's different for each beat, but I kind of have a game plan going into each beat in terms of structure. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the content in this video, and of course let us know in the comments what you want to see in the future. But yeah, here's the beat.